being an entrepreneur is amazing. It's awesome. It's wonderful. At the same time, it's hard. It's
Welcome to
difficult.
Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Especially because you walk the talk, yeah, because you were
Yes.
that guy, yeah. We have a brief conversation before the broadcast. You were that guy that was in a corporate job, and for some reason that situation changed, and all of a sudden now you don't have your corporate job anymore, and now you are an entrepreneur. So a lot need to think change in Brian out of this mindset. When you are an employee, it's amazing, especially your corporate. You don't need to worry about 9 to 5. They pay you good money. You have the freedom to say this is not my job, and everybody had to listen, which is something that when you become an entrepreneur. So what happened, Brian, when you become an entrepreneur that you cannot say anymore, this is not my job because everything is your job. And then what happened with this 9 to 5 that, oh, it's 6 o'clock, I'm still there. And and it's weekend and I'm still worried about this thing that somehow so you trade your comfortable life for your uncomfortable life to become an entrepreneur, or it's actually the other way, because actually when you make the business work and it works for you and it works on autopilot, you have a sense of freedom, and you can actually do that you love. I can tell because your eyes shine every time that you coach someone how to start or grow the business. This is what you love, man. I can tell. So so you were that person before. So what happened? You this methodology that you describe now is the thing, the same methodology that you need to apply to yourself. Then you have to become someone that you were not in the first place. You were working in corporate, like most of the people. So what happened? Why you made this transition? What challenge did you manage to become that person, and what words of encouragement you have for these people in corporate America or in corporate over the world that they are in this golden cage? They want to have their life. You have, they're driving in the car right now, listening to this podcast and say, man, I wish that I have the courage, Brian, that start my own business, have my own freedom. But you know what? Tomorrow I have to wake up and go to this corporate job, and I had to hear this, my boss that is an idiot. And people have been coping for that for 10 years, and they have a stress, and they are unfulfilled. So tell us a little bit more about the transition. What can you tell to your fellow from corporates, employees that are in the golden cage?
Yeah. And here's what I tell you. Being an entrepreneur is amazing. It's awesome. It's wonderful. At the same time, it's hard. It's difficult. You have
Absolutely.
a lot of sleepless nights. But they're your sleepless nights. It's because you're concentrating on your business. You're doing stuff. Advice that I would love to give
You're
somebody
working
who's
for you, right, Brian? You're
working
gonna
for
work
you,
hard anyway. You're doing it for you, right?
you're
Why
doing it
you
for
should
you.
be
You're
doing
doing
it
it
for
for
another person?
Yeah, and you're doing it for your family and what your family's going to achieve. Some of the things in becoming the person, that you have to be is that whole mindset of, when I get up in the morning, what do I do? And I think a lot of people who fail, they do the wrong things when they get up every morning. They concentrate on some of the things that the job concentrates on instead of what you need to concentrate, because you're a business owner. Just because you're good at whatever you were, let's say that you worked at a grocery store and you know grocery business real well, right? Or you know how to stock shelves and you know how to run a store, or let's say it's a Walmart, and you know how to do all those things and you know how to manage people, and that's great. But you might not know how to run a business, and so, which is a total different skill set
Completely
than whatever
different beast.
you're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah. And
Like you
so
shared with me, you were working in the mortgage broker and thing, but all of a sudden you become a partner and you have to run it yourself. Oh boy, now you need to learn a lot of skills, a lot of things that, and either you like it or not, you have to learn and apply, right?
Yeah, well, like 2008 happened, right? So 2008 happened, and all of a sudden we have all these loans in the pipeline, and we can't sell a loan. It's over. America's not giving you loans. I still got employees, right? They still are expecting for me to support their family.
Wow. Oh
And I
my
got to figure
God.
out
That was
how
tough.
long is this going to last? Can I let it last? How many months am I going to pay? I paid for about 6 months and realized I couldn't sustain it, and we had to shut it down before I brought it back on. When I think of my transition, one of the things that I did that was, I think, smart back in 2001 when I left teaching. Well, I didn't really leave teaching. I changed my teaching job. So I was an administrator in charge of
Absolutely.
a
Now you're
master's
teaching
program.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah. So I was in charge of a master's program in educational technology. So I got this title at the university, but that title meant that I had to run around all day long every day and babysit different teachers doing stuff. What I did is, when I decided I was going to start, I went back and I taught at an elementary school. So I went to the school that my kids were at. I became a PE teacher again. So I'm doing physical education, and I know when I show up in the morning, then I work for my 8 hours at the school. I don't have to take any homework home. I don't have to work on my, like the normal teachers do at night, because I'm teaching PE, right? I can't make the kids run in the middle of the night, and so I was able to do, okay, so from 9 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon, I was an elementary school PE teacher. Then at 3:30, I go put on my suit, and from 3:30 to 8, I was a entrepreneur working in my business.
Wow. Wow, that's
Well, one of
powerful.
the things that I did, that I made sure, because I was, okay, I got a family, I got young kids, I got to make sure that they're taken care of. They
Absolutely.
see, they see their dad, right? So I got a job at the elementary school that my kids went to. So I got to see them all day when I was teaching, and they would come out to be. I was the favorite, teacher on them, because your kids,
Wow,
hey,
that
my
was
dad,
very clever. Yeah. Well
so I got to
done.
spend time, and then I had freedom of time to go watch their games and do all those other things. But I was working to 8 or 9 o'clock at night. I traded that because I knew in a few years I'll never have to teach again if I don't want to. I'll never have to go get up, where they ring the bell and say get up, and I guess that's an alarm clock, right? It rings the bell and tells you get up, take a shower, and drive off to work and come back. And so that's, I guess, when I think of that transition, that was smart. Then I did start working on personal development. So I can remember going to like Tony Robbins. Yay, rah, rah. I'd say incredible training that Tony Robbins is doing, right? But I get home on Monday, after the Tony Robbins weekend, and I walked on fire and did all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, now what am I supposed to do? Because I was
Uh,
excited, but I had no clue what to do, because the training didn't go there. And so now a lot of my coaching is, how do you become the person that is ready to go to Tony Robbins? Because I don't think I was then. I got
mhm.
excited, but I see all these people making
Yeah, you
it.
can get no because you can over there you motivate, but you can demotivate very easily until that transformation it doesn't happen within you.
Yeah.
I've been in that workshop 5 times.
Okay. There you
I
go.
love it. I love it. And I think it's one of the greatest guys.
Oh,
And
absolutely. And I think
but sometimes Brian, you're 100% right. You have to be ready because otherwise you the more you advance, the more you grow in personal development, the more you can get ready for what actually happens there. I think that and sometimes it takes for you to go more than once to get it. Like I told you, I've been there 5 times. I probably know the workshop, the UPW, the Unleash the Power Within. Probably I know better than Tony Robbins
But
himself.
the key is, you are a different person every time you attend. So the things that you get out of it
Absolutely, and
are different because
every
you're
time I
different.
go something different. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And so, a lot of things that I tell people, let me work on your habits first. Let me work on your disciplines first. Let me work on your decision making first. Now go see Tony Robbins, and all that stuff makes sense. Because if you go there and you don't have any habits,
I
you don't have
agree
any,
with you.
you're just going to go, okay, thanks, Tony. I'm excited. Let's go
That
do
was a
it.
lot of fun.
And it was a lot of fun. And I came home and I was tired, and I got, which I think is great for everybody to do. But I think people come out of there expecting that in 6 weeks they're going to go make $1 million, because somebody was there, right? Somebody was there and said, hey, like 3 months ago, I didn't have anything. And now, I made my first $500,000. Right, but the person you were when you showed up to his seminar, and the things and the disciplines and everything you had before you came, of course you made $500,000. Oh yeah, you forgot to tell us you have a company that made $200,000 last year. You have all
Hmm.
this. And now
and you have all these skills, and you have
you
all
have all
these
the skill sets,
skills,
you have all those
and
things.
you have your own company, and you're starting, because at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur, Brian, is a skill. Every single human being can become a good entrepreneur. In the same way that everybody can drive a car, it's a skill based. The more you practice, the better you become. When you drive in a car, at the beginning you cannot drive so good, but some people that even is not allowed, they drive the car and they even speaking on the phone. However, what is really important, and people sometimes don't understand the value, Brian, is that if you have that coach, if you have that mentor, you have this driver instructor next to you, this could be very helpful in order for you to drive more safely, to get your license faster, and probably a couple of tips might save your life, about this mentor, this driver instructor that you have. But still, it's up to you. You need to develop the skill as an entrepreneur. The coach, the mentor cannot do it for you. You have to practice and fail, and have this sleepless nights. Nobody's gonna this the people become an entrepreneur. They want to make a million, Brian, and everybody want to make it fast, and nobody want to go through this process. And it's coming to you anyway if you're gonna have a business, because this is part of the process for you to develop the skill. And if you don't have this skill, you're not gonna succeed in business. So
Follow
one
us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.